on your left.
What's up, guys? Your boy Benny. I moved my family down to the state of Florida because I was sick of the lawlessness and crime in Washington, D.C., where we were living, where I was working as a reporter. And the reason why we're down here is because I liked the fact that it was buttoned up and there was legal authority and law and order in this state. And Ron DeSantis has not disappointed on that front. This is a very safe state to live in. Criminals get prosecuted, especially if you're committing election crimes or high levels of larceny that other states just have looked the other way on, especially if you're living in a blue state. So it's really, really good. I saw the horrors and ravages of the BLM and Antifa mobs at my doorstep, and I said, F no, we're moving down to Florida. And now Ron DeSantis has really come through on the states' rights, the 10th Amendment, that the states have the right and the obligation to defend their own citizens. Donald Trump is a resident of Florida. Donald Trump was nearly murdered again yesterday, this time in the state of Florida. Ron DeSantis has taken the opportunity to assert the state's obligation to protect its own citizenry and to say that we are going to do our own investigation of this. We're going to demand access to electronics, to interviews with the assassin. And we are not going to trust the FBI and the federal agencies that are trying to put Donald Trump in prison in this jurisdiction. A strong statement today.
I have not talked to him yet. I did announce yesterday we're going to be doing a state-level investigation. I understand that the feds are involved, but we do believe that there were multiple violations of state law. We also believe that there's a need to make sure that the truth about all this comes out in a way, that's credible. I mean, I look at the federal government with all due respect to them. Those same agencies that are prosecuting Trump in that jurisdiction are now going to be investigating this. I just think that may not be the best thing for this country. Nevertheless, they have their prerogative, but we have our prerogative. And so we'll be making an announcement further along those lines in the ensuing days.
Good that the state agencies that are the federal agencies that are responsible for prosecuting Donald Trump and have been setting up and rigging the judicial system against Trump should not be trusted to do a thorough investigation of a man with a super shady past and a lot of questions who just tried to kill Trump. The reason why this is such a win for us is because we were live within 30 minutes of Donald Trump's second assassination attempt. And we had Eric Prince on, and we were able to really effectuate the narrative that Ron DeSantis needs to assert state control here. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we've done it. Here's our clip recapping that from today. Here's Dan Bonino saying, Ron Rowe taking a victory lap for the failures. Absolutely incredible to watch. This man is an embarrassment, says Bonino. We'll have a clip from Bonino here in just a second. Just letting you know, press conference today at 4 o'clock. This was the announcement. It was just 30 minutes before the press conference. She's going to come rushing back. SKS was the rifle. Many have been speculating that this was the rifle. Here we go. That he was using. This is a Russian model rifle. It's a Russian rifle. Self-loading carbine. The semi-automatic designed by Soviet small arms dealer. In 1945, SKS was first produced in the Soviet Union, later widely exported and manufactured by various nations. So this was the style, the model of rifle that he had. Someone's going to have to tell me, is this a good rifle? Is this a good firearm? I do not own one. Several ways to mount an optic on an SKS. Not sure what the optic mount setup was. The photo is grainy, but you can see here he had an optic. So this is something that we also learned. We also learned the style of rifle. We learned that this man was camped outside of Mar-a-Lago. I'm sorry, camped outside of the Trump Palm Beach golf course for 12 hours.
Cellular data shows that the subject was in the vicinity of the golf course roughly 12 hours before the engagement with the United States Secret Service. Our investigative teams conducted a neighborhood canvass in an effort to collect and obtain relevant video footage. The subject had an active online presence, and we are going through what he posted and any searches he conducted online. In addition, we're going through media reports and public statements he made that he wanted to recruit Afghan soldiers and others to fight for Ukraine. The FBI has sent multiple requests to companies for returns on the subject's phone and social media accounts. We received several returns and are waiting on additional responses from other companies as well. Our investigative team is completing analysis of the returns and actioning leads as needed, and we anticipate continuing until the FBI knows the full totality of the subject's social media presence.
You know what's interesting about this guy talking about social media presence is because this man, his name's Jeffrey Veltri, had to delete his social media presence because of his anti-Trump bias. How is this man in charge? Let me ask a very simple question. In a court of law, what you do is you'd be like, well, you know, the lawyer is sleeping with the judge and therefore the lawyer has a conflict of interest, just for an example, right? So this guy's conflicted out because of his past actions towards or against the defendants. This is called a conflict of interest. You, of course, understand this. Check out this remarkable reporting here. FBI official who just briefed America about the latest Trump assassination, Jeffrey Veltri, is a notorious Trump hater. Veltri, the head of the FBI Miami field office, is so outspoken against Trump deranged Facebook posts that agents were ordered to scrub them before he could be promoted to the head of the Miami office. Whistleblower told the House Judiciary Committee that Mr. Veltri had an animately and vocally anti-Trump bias. This guy's in charge? Whistleblower out of the FBI Director Christopher Wray directed all involved to disinfect their social media accounts of anti-Trump vitriol. Here's the actual article. FBI agent had to erase public vitriol on Trump, Mar-a-Lago, and field office's jurisdiction. And he's the guy briefing us on social media posts that are poisonous and toxic to this report. Just an absolutely remarkable moment here, just so that you guys have a little bit of background on this guy. And this is also the reason why, breaking news, Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida, has announced that he doesn't trust the feds.
I've not talked to him yet. I did announce yesterday we're going to be doing a state-level investigation. I understand that the feds are involved, but we do believe that there were multiple violations of state law. We also believe that there's a need to make sure that the truth about all this comes out in a way, that's credible. I mean, I look at the federal government with all due respect to them. Those same agencies that are prosecuting Trump in that jurisdiction are now going to be investigating this. I just think that may not be the best thing for this country. Nevertheless, they have their prerogative, but we have our prerogative. And so we'll be making an announcement further along those lines in the ensuing days.
Good. I mean, listen, look at this. Body cam footage. Body cam footage already released. Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful? Can I get some fights in the chat from our members? Isn't it wonderful that we have an agency in the state? Did you take a step back? Have you ever seen a briefing like this on Butler? Have you seen footage like this released from Butler? People had to sue to get footage like this from Butler. Here's the guy getting arrested. Here's the Trump assassin being arrested yesterday. Agencies had to sue to get it. The state of Florida is releasing it, and the state of Florida is doing now 2 press conferences. When was the last time the state of Pennsylvania did a press conference on Trump's assassination? Has there been a single one? Has the state of Pennsylvania, a single time, the governor of Pennsylvania or the government of Pennsylvania done any press conference on Trump assassination in Butler where President Trump ate a bullet in what was intended to be an on-air assassination execution of the president? Got up and did the fight. Have you ever heard from the state agency? I'm very glad. I said this morning. I don't mean to be controversial. I'm just saying I'm very glad this happened in the state of Florida. I'm very glad this happened in a red state where we can actually get some law and some justice. Jeffrey Veltri of the FBI had to scrub his social media because of his anti-Trump vitriol. This is the same agency that raided Mar-a-Lago. They raided Mar-a-Lago. And now they're tasked with figuring out why a man was able to sit outside of Donald Trump's golf course with a firearm in a stolen vehicle with a stolen plate. And, well, he had his GoPro. He had his setup. Hold on. I have his setup right here. Look at this right there. Those of you who aren't in the industry may not know that's a GoPro. That's a camera. In fact, I have a little case of them right here. I have them out just to show you. This is what they look like. What he planned on doing was he planned on world star hip hop going viral by recording his execution of Trump. That's what this is. That's what this is. That's the GoPro right there. While we may not know the model of Soviet-made firearm, we certainly do know our cameras around here. And that's what the man intended on doing. So just in case the the FBI amazes you with their capacity to stop this, here is the federal attorney saying that the firearm was illegally obtained and that the firearm was owned by a felon. And I noticed that they never said that this guy had Joe Biden, Kamala Harris stickers on his cars and is a longtime Democrat donor. Didn't hear that in the press conference. They've seemed to have left that out. We do have that evidence. But apparently he had filed off or obliterated the numbers on his firearm, so it is untraceable.
According to the allegations in the complaint, a U.S. Secret Service agent walking the golf course perimeter saw what appeared to be a rifle poking out of the tree line. After the agent fired a service weapon in the direction of the rifle, a witness saw a man later identified as Ralph fleeing the area in the tree line. Ralph was later apprehended by officers from the Martin County Sheriff's Office in coordination with the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. The complaint alleges that in the area of the tree line from which Ralph fled, agents found a digital camera, a backpack, a loaded SKS-style rifle with a scope, and a black plastic bag containing food. The serial number on the rifle was obliterated. According to the complaint, Roth was convicted of felonies in North Carolina in December 2002 and March 2010, and therefore was prohibited from possessing a firearm.
So how'd he get it? Hey, why don't you answer that question? How'd he get it? I actually love the Q&A there. It was great. Is this a conspiracy? What's going on here? Are you like, did he know? How do you know about Trump's movements? How the hell are you guys like peacocking here on what is, again, another massive security failure? Because the guy had a scope on Trump. The man had a scope on Trump. Okay, just call it what it is. Trump was 300 yards away. The guy had a scope on Trump. Any shooters in the chat? You know that 300 yards is nothing for a guy with a proper scope and a proper setup. I'm not sure this would qualify as a proper setup, but let me tell you what. The Secret Service whistleblowers have said that this was a setup, in fact. Secret Service counter sniper who has 30 years of experience inside of the agency sent a email to the entire uniformed division. This was right after Donald Trump's first assassination attempt, because we have to number them now, saying that he's going to be shot. Trump's going to be executed. Get ready. They're going to keep trying. This is what the guy said. Okay. We should expect another assassination attempt. This agent said that within 30 days, there will be another assassination attempt on President Trump. And now we are 60 days away, and there's another assassination attempt on President Trump. Here's the email. I would have loved to have asked a question about this. Maybe this would have been my question were I in that press gaggle. Wow. So here's the dude. Monster, scumbag. Honestly, I hope he rots in jail for the rest of his life. Death penalty in Florida. I believe we have it. Pretty sure we got it. Here's a photo of the back of his truck. Let's just do a real quick timeline cleanse of all of the fake news and information. Here's a better photo right here. Killer Klein just got it. There you go. Riding with Biden, this guy. Riding with Biden right up to President Trump's golf course. Here's the man's political donations. This is directly from the, where are you getting this information? From FEC.gov. ActBlue. ActBlue, of course, is the fundraising juggernaut for only Democrats. It is impossible to donate to Republicans through ActBlue. Just in case you need a quick crash course there. Last Republican he supported was John McCain. You'll find that particularly interesting, or not, given the fact that he had his entire brain broken by the Ukraine conflict. The man was an agent and an emissary for the war in Ukraine, recruiting fighters, trying to fund the war in Ukraine, flying to Ukraine, doing activism for Ukraine. You can see here with his hair even dyed the colors of Ukraine. Was he just an obsessive sociopath? Here he is there in Madian Square with Jose Andres. Was he an obsessive, or was there something deeper going on? Well, I'm not sure. How is a convicted felon like this able to travel to a war zone, buy firearms? How does a guy who has, you can see here on his FEC record, look at this. A guy who has, sorry, column here. There we go. I expanded it here. Let's make sure that fits. There you go. See this? Not employed. Not employed. Not employed. Not employed. It says he's not employed. Employer, he's not employed. How's a guy like that afford so many tickets to Ukraine? How's that possible? I mean, he's got all these felonies. He was investigated by the FBI for illegally obtaining a firearm, which he did. Yet he's voting. How the hell is he voting? In North Carolina? Wait a second. Hold up. Maybe this is the most important question. He's voting for Democrats, including voting just 6 months ago. Look at this. He voted 6 months ago for a Democrat in person in North Carolina, a state that he allegedly doesn't live in. How are felons that are on the FBI's radar voting for Democrats in primaries? How effed is the system? This is proving how messed up the system is. Boys, we're cooking. Look at that. There you go. According to Axios, records indicate that Ralph voted in the primary. You know, the next thing you do, Axios, is you ask the question, how are felons voting in North Carolina? That's illegal. How are they buying guns? That's illegal. Who sold them the weapon? You know, that's going to be very interesting. Who sold the dude the weapon? He's in propaganda videos for the Azov Battalion. Did you know this? We're just piecing all the pieces together, putting them all together. He's in propaganda videos for a neo-Nazi battalion in Ukraine that he was recruiting for. Here is a glowing profile in the New York Times about Ryan Ralph. Boy, man, you better come correct with the details. We got him on this program. He was trying to recruit Afghan fighters to go fight in Ukraine. Here he is. There he is in Madian Square. Here he is in Washington, D.C. lobbying. Who paid for this? Where's the money coming from? These are expensive trips. Getting to D.C., getting to Honolulu, getting to Florida, getting to Ukraine. You're talking tens of thousands of dollars that the dude doesn't have to go to all these places. Who bought the firearm for him? Those are questions. Man, I got to tell you what. I hope that we have an opportunity to go to one of these press gaggles. I will go and I will ask a question. Breaking. Former FBI official says, wait a second. This guy must have had an inside source in order to figure out where Donald Trump was that day. You know what? And I'm so thankful for this audience. I'm so thankful for you. Because of us, Ron DeSantis, we were the #1 leverage point yesterday to get Ron DeSantis to open his own investigation. And Ron DeSantis says, you'll hear from us soon. We're going to crack open our own investigation. We don't trust the feds who are trying to throw Donald Trump in prison. They're trying to destroy Trump's life, kill him in jail. And we're going to trust them to investigate an assassination attempt? No. That's what Ron DeSantis says. And we were the first people like making that muscular argument. And the governor, to his incredible credit and the credit of his team, listened to us first yesterday. So this is the FBI saying, does he have inside information? Because of us asking these questions and because of the chat, because of you, we're getting these questions in the mouths of journalists. And you heard 2 or 3 questions there in the Q&A period where they're like, this was an inside job. How did this guy know? How didn't you detect him? Who was he working with? Who sold him the weapon? These are questions, man. These are great questions. Very encouraged by that. The FBI themselves saying that it was an inside job. Trump gunman Ryan Ralph may have had inside information, according to FBI official. He was camped out for 12 hours? Let me ask you a little question here. Why would you camp out of somewhere for 12 hours? Unless you knew an event was going to occur. Where would you camp out for 12 hours? If you want to be first in line for a ticket, first in line at a store, if you want to be first in line for a Trump rally or something, you'd camp out for 12 hours. You'd camp out for 12 hours in front of like an NFL stadium or something because you know a game's going to be played. How the hell did this guy know that Donald Trump was going to go to that club? You know, Donald Trump has like multiple golf courses in South Florida. Donald Trump could have gone to any of his clubs. We've gone to Donald Trump's golf clubs. He could have gone down to Doral in Miami. Donald Trump could have gone to any of these golf courses. How did he know? Why was he camped out at exactly the right one, at exactly the right time, too? Isn't that amazing? Isn't it remarkable, actually? It leads to so many more questions. We're very thankful that the state is releasing this information, although, gotta tell you, maybe somebody should ask Time Magazine what the hell this is about. Why did Time Magazine publish a cover of Donald Trump in danger on his golf course? This is what Time Magazine put up a week ago. Did you just guess? You just guessed. Oh, okay. Got it. Why is it that so many people are able to tie all of these different strings together and predict